Hello and welcome to this episode of Great Conversations. I'm very excited to be here today with Pam Capaci. She is the CEO of Hope Sheds Light here in Ocean and Monmouth County. And I'd love to hear about all of your things that you do with your organization. I was lucky enough at an event to come across your organization. It was just before the holidays. I met Jesse, I believe,
yes,
and had a great conversation, and I was intrigued. So
Thank you.
I figure if I'm interested, then people in Township are interested as well. So
thank you for inviting me on, and the opportunity to talk about hope. What I'll do is just start with how we started.
Sure.
Which is 13 years ago. 3 families actually they lived in Toms River. All 3 of them lost their sons to drug overdoses. It was at the beginning of the epidemic. For some reason, Toms River in particular was somewhat of an epicenter. And they were really caught off guard. They really just didn't know during their journey where to go, where to reach out for help. They, fell into some pitfalls. And so when they lost their sons, they wanted to do something that would offer help to other family members. And rather than look at the disease from the lens of the individual only, they really wanted an organization that recognized that it's a family disease and that everybody gets involved and everyone goes through the tragedy, and in their case, the ultimate tragedy. So they started Hope Sheds Light. Initially, it was really designed to just be a helpline and and help people get to a resource that was a little bit vetted by us, because there were a lot of pitfalls. And we've since grown, so we still have that helpline. Okay. We still have a 24-hour helpline. And we now have a physical location in both Toms River and Manasquan, and we're serving both counties. We have a staff of certified peer recovery specialists. What that is really they're individuals who are in recovery themselves. Okay. So they are not clinicians. They consider themselves peers, and they can relate to individuals and meet them where they are, and kind of share their journey and be a beacon of hope. So often when people are at their worst with this disease, they don't believe that they can get better. Right. And so our staff really can go in and say, look, I was arrested, I was homeless, I was this, and I look at where I am today. And they just chat with them really, and in a non-judgmental way. And myself, I'm a family member. I unfortunately lost my sister in 2018.
Oh, sorry.
And my son, thankfully, will be celebrating 4 years next month.
Oh,
so we also have that experience to offer families. So many of our calls that come in through the helpline are actually distressed family members in crises wanting to help their loved one.
They don't know what to do.
They don't. Yeah. So we have a core of family coaches as well. We have what's called a buddy program where we just reach out to family members, and every week, how are you doing? Would you like to come to our support meeting? Right. Do you need something? And often they just need to chat. Last week alone, I think I spent about 6 hours with 4 different families, just letting them get it out. There isn't, unfortunately, an immediate solution often. So having someone who understands where they are, isn't judging, is helping reduce that fear and isolation. Right. I think that's really the core of what we do. Yeah. And we do that in a lot of ways. You know? We go out into the streets and hand out survival packs. We help individuals get into sober living settings. We help families navigate a very disjointed treatment system. And we just listen. So
I find out throughout my career of being a teacher and then having a multitude of other jobs that most of the time when people are upset about something or confused, just talking and just sitting there and listening without even having an answer for them is helpful.
It is. Yeah. They just need to, be heard, and they need to kind of get it out. That starts the healing process, just being able to talk about it, and then just have someone whose response intimately understands, where they are.
I've been where you are. Exactly. I understand how you're feeling. Especially if from an addicted person to somebody who's in recovery, recognizing that there is something that I can make it past this.
Yeah, and oftentimes, they're not really ready to change or make a move. So the way we speak with them kind of gets them to that space of feeling, okay, I can, it lowers the fear, it builds the trust, and then we get to connect them with our community partners.
That's great.
And we partner with everyone, really. We partner with all of the clinical service providers. Oftentimes, literally, like, we have several programs where we're in partnership with, Bright Harbor Health or Preferred Behavioral Health and CPC, where our recovery specialists are linked with their clinicians, and we're responding together. We work with multiple police departments, where in Toms River, we were going out for a while, like, on call with them, responding to overdoses. But what we found is that we actually were having more success meeting up with the families or the individual 24 hours later when they're out of that immediate crisis and a little more welcoming our presence.
And able to actually have a conversation.
So our success rate in supporting people who have been Narcan, for example, really was about the same or better if we waited that 24 hours. And I think what makes Hope unique, like I said, is we come at it from the family perspective. And we also don't have, of course, we have an expectation. We hope that people want to, get on this journey of recovery, but there isn't like a time frame. We're not saying, okay, you have 6 sessions or, there's no time frame.
It's to meet people where they are and let
stay
them
with them
get
for
to where they have to be over time.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Stay with you as long as, as long as you need us to be. And we follow you throughout your recovery journey. And another thing that was important to our founders was 2 things. One is they put their face to this. They were fairly prominent businessmen in the area, and they wanted their voices and face to be part of this initiative so that people who were hiding, in secret and fear would say, oh, I can relate to them and come out of the closet, so to speak, to get the help they need. But also I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We come at it from that whole perspective, the whole lens, the family
And we kind of want to break the stigma too, because I feel like a lot of families are embarrassed or thinking like, I can't let anyone know that we're going through this.
Yes.
And we want to break that so that how do you get the help otherwise, right? How do you get to
stigma is still like it's still the biggest barrier for we offer several family support meetings throughout both Monmouth and Ocean County, and when we kind of just take a temperature check with the families, like it's not a formal analysis, but just like touching base, most of them have been struggling in silence, in fear for over 2 years or more.
Not wanting other family to know, or
and they're afraid, like, well, will my kids be, not allowed over now? Like all kinds of fears pop up because there's such stigma associated with addiction and mental health, both. But addiction, I think, even more. And there's denial. They don't want to believe that this is happening to them and that they're on this journey. And so what we do is, we recognize that it can take as many as 5 or 6 interactions before someone will even come to one of our meetings, and then they'll be in the meeting quiet and not say anything for another however many weeks. And But then we watch that evolution, and now some of those people are our family coaches. And they've been through that whole journey.
That's wonderful. And they come back to help others, right? So that's, and I feel like we're finally breaking some barriers down here where there is a stigma, but I think, like, I'm Gen X, so, but I don't know if I'm the same as all Gen Xers, but I'm like, let's just talk about it. What do we have to do? But I think the Gen Z population, I feel, is more open to, I gotta talk about it. Like, I have feelings, and I need to express these feelings. So this is a great organization for anybody that's struggling. What you mentioned something about survival packs, or what did you say?
Yeah.
So what
we
are those?
go out. So we go out into every community. We have funding that allows us to sort of target communities that we're getting information where there's been a spike of overdoses, or we just know in general that there's a high rate of overdose. And we'll go out and we have backpacks that are in the winter filled with hand warmers and gloves and hats, and they also have Narcan. They have wound care kits, and all of our, information about our programs. And we just meet people on the street. We'll go to a train station where people might gather and just distribute the supplies. Depending on our funding, there was actually when we were working on the LEAD program here in Brick, we had special assistance funding, and a couple of times we were able to even get tents for people who would not come into a shelter, or wouldn't come in for the warming center. So we would, we were able to give them a tent, so at least they had some kind of shelter. And then in the summer, we reverse that. We have the little handheld fans and some other supply, water. And, we always put a little nutrition bar in the bags. And it's just a way to kind of meet people where they are and give them some basic supplies and chat with them. And we've
make that connection, that first connection.
Yeah. I mean, in Brick last year, I was looking at the numbers before I came. We interacted directly through our outreach, that type of outreach, with 39 individuals.
Wow.
And for those 39 individuals, we had over 100 contacts before we were able to pull them into additional resources.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear,
Yeah, so that is that program. And as I said, we also have the trust of many police departments. We have a form, they fax us a form. A fax, that's old school. They're emailing it to us, sorry. That's my generation. They directly email or snap a picture, text it to my team. And, we go to the places and families where they're concerned. They're seeing repeat contact with law enforcement, trespassing, disturbing of the peace, open container, whatever it is, real low level, but repeated, and just say, hey,
you don't want it to lead further into.
How can we help? Can you guys help these guys?
That's so nice. What a great program.
Yeah, we love that one.
So you mentioned, funding. Do you obviously have different ways to get funding? Do you have any fundraisers coming up that people from the community can help with?
We do. Well, the most recent fundraiser is in May. It's our golf outing. It's on May 11th, and you can. We're out on social media, our Facebook page. It's posted. We're e-blasting it, but you can also find it on our website.
We'll pop it up on the screen too for you.
But really, our signature event, and the one that kind of everyone knows about, is our walk in September. We have a Celebration of Hope walk on Seaside, the boardwalk in Seaside Heights. I'm telling you, we get over 1,500 people that come out. We have 50 vendors that are there, with offering information about all the services that are available. We have speakers. It's just we have a tree of hope with little butterflies. That's part of our logo. And people, I'll put a little message to my sister on that tree. Some people put messages for individuals that are still struggling, others for those in recovery. But so it's just a beautiful day to bring everyone together. And it was one of the first, probably the first in New Jersey. The largest one that I know of locally is in Philadelphia. But this is the largest walk and sort of event that takes place in New Jersey to honor people in recovery in particular. And it's a celebration. A lot of we like to say that two things. We like to say that recovery is not just possible; it's probable. It really is. We don't hear enough about recovery. Excuse me. We hear a lot more.
We want to hear
addiction.
the success stories, right?
So this is an opportunity for that. And we also like to say we're planting the seed of recovery instead of the seed of addiction. And what I mean by that is there are a bunch of young kids that come. We have high school students that volunteer. We have my granddaughter comes. We have a bunch of kids who get to celebrate the fact that their parents are in recovery, like any other child might celebrate a family recovering from cancer or something like that. So
wonderful.
Yeah, so that's who we are. So the walk is on I think it's September 12th. It's always the first Saturday after Labor Day. I think this year it's the 12th. I should know that. It's a great opportunity for any community member to come celebrate. And our golf outing is it's a real fundraiser for us so that we can keep doing these programs. And that's May 11th. This year, we moved it to Hominy Hill. Which is in Colts Neck. So we're excited about that.
Very nice.
So thank you.
This is a wonderful program. I'm so glad that we had the chance to talk about it and have our residents hear about all the wonderful things that you do. Not only what you do, but how they can connect with you if they have anything going on in their families that they want to. And just really quick, I know we're going a little, but do you have any volunteer opportunities also?
Absolutely.
Curious.
I mean, every event that we have, we do have a lot of community events. They're not fundraisers; they're fundraisers, I guess. So we have a barbecue in June in Toms River. We have a spring fling in Manasquan in May. So those are all opportunities for people to come volunteer and get involved. We have a garden in both locations, so we always, need people to help us open our gardens. On our website, there's just a page that you can sign up to become a volunteer.
Fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. So a little bit of everything for anybody that's listening. So I can't thank you enough for your time.
Thank you.
I wish your organization great success, and perhaps we'll be able to work together.
Yeah, I hope so. And thank you for giving us this opportunity today.
Thrilled to do it. So thank you so much for joining us on today's Great Conversation. For more information, we'll have it up on the screen for you, and I hope you have a great day.